Hey guys, I'm gonna be talking about some news that we got regarding the Flash season 9, kinda 8 as well, and also regarding Justice U. We learned where the point in the show that show's at. So if you guys enjoy the video, hit the like button, subscribe for new, notifications on. Let's get right into the news about the Flash and Justice U. So, TV line, and by the way, the article is linked in the description down below. I'm not showing screenshots of the article. If you want to read it, go read it for yourself. Come back and watch this video. They did like several interviews across several shows. The three main important things are Justice U, Stargirl, and The Flash. The Stargirl one is not really that important if I'm not talking about it. But the Justice U one and The Flash were the two that stuck out to me the most, so I'm doing a video on it. Let's get into Justice U news. David Ramsey told TV Line that they just closed a deal on a writer. And this is what he's saying. We just closed a deal on the writer. I'm not sure I can say her name, so I won't. But we're very close to submitting our second draft. It's still in development and we're moving forward. I don't know why it's taking almost a full-on, year and a half plus to get the show going. It really shouldn't. But the thing is that we don't know this is an Arrowverse show. We don't. If it's on Earth Prime, or it's Price of and Lois, the description of the show literally says Diggle is a Spartan after working with this Earth Prime heroes. So you assume he's on Earth Prime because you're on Sam and Lois' world. That's kind of screwed up. I mean, we've been waiting for this show for God knows how long, and, the Arrowverse is dying down, whether you want man or not, it is. We're down to two shows, Flash and Stargirl. Sam and Lois decided to be a coward and not be a part of it. Thank you, Todd Helping. And so we're down to two. And if just you as part of the Arrowverse, well, Todd Helping just screwed everyone else over. I'm glad the show is still in development. Again, it would be nice to know if it's still going forward, because it said they're moving forward, but we don't have a green light. When they give a show a green light, we're expecting a pilot, and they're not there yet, and it's been away for a year. I'm glad we're finally knowing, okay, it's not canceled yet, but it's just, And the thing with Comic Chris that he brought up months ago about Flash ending and all this about what David Ramsey supposedly said, which he would have no idea about. Again, Just You cannot be part of Sam and Lois' world. It just can't. There's zero reason for that show to even happen if it wasn't on Earth Prime. It needs to be on Earth Prime for the show to actually work and for fans to be happy about it. There'll be tons of you that disagree with that, but the matter of fact is, look at what happened with Sam and Lois. We had hundreds of thousands of Arrowverse fans, including myself, all believe the show's part of the Arrowverse because they piggybacked off it. And here we are. We're stuck with two other shows, and Sam and Lois is not one of them. And that pissed off a crap ton of fans, including myself, who are still pissed off now. So, for Justice U to star David Ramsey, who's gonna be Spartan in it, I don't know. Getting into the Flash news, one of the Flash's Season 8's deleted scenes was a callback to the Chronarch. Now, the reason this is interesting is because in Season 7, the Chronarch was brought up by Abracadabra. If you remember in 704, I believe it was 704, he was brought up. Now, the reason this is important is because it was a deleted scene in the season's finale. In the Season 8 finale, there was a callback to Chronarch, and it was deleted. Now, we have to wait for that scene to figure out how it was brought up, because if it was by Thawne, or by Nora, or Bart, then we can lead more into it. But the fact that it was a deleted scene in the finale of Season 8 has to make you wonder the question, right? It has to make you ask, was Chronarch going to be a villain in Season 9 if it wasn't the last season of the show? I think he was going to be. I think he was 100% going to be a villain in Season 9, but he's not. So Chronarch is just out of the picture. He's not showing up. If he shows up, I would be genuinely surprised. Now, I've seen some people just being straight up idiots and asking, or saying, why did they tease Chronarch season 7? That was 2 years ago. You can't predict what's going to happen in 2 years. They teased Red Death in season 5, and he's not once been teased or shown up in this show once. Besides maybe Armageddon, which you can argue that Ryan in 20 whatever year it was, 2031, when it was Iris and Ryan in Barry's apartment or in the loft, Ryan brought up a certain lady in red that they used a speedster device against. That could be a lady version of Red Death. If Batman kept on going and the Flash keeps on going, or kept on going, or this is 9, they probably would have done a crossover and probably would have been introducing Red Death, but twisting the story around, making a woman, not Bruce Wayne. Maybe it would have been a version of Kate Kane. I don't know. I don't think anyone wants that, but that's my point. It would have been interesting to see where all that goes. And it would have been cool to see in live action. We're not going to get that, clearly. But, yeah, who knows. Maybe in the Flash movie. No, he won't. That's definitely not happening. So it's depressing to know that now 2 villains are never going to be seen on the show. I wasn't really that excited for Chronarch, considering the last one, Abracadabra teased, was DeVoe, and we all learned how that one went. In season 3, it teased DeVoe to Barry, and again, we saw how that one went. So I'm okay with Chronarch not appearing. I'm okay with it. They can do a comic crossover again, or just a comic for the Flash, following season 9, or something like that. Bring up Chronarch, say Barry defeated him, or something like that in season 9. You can do it that way if you want to wrap up that story arc. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that, I shouldn't say the fact. Maybe it's that Barry already dealt with them. Maybe that was what the callback was in between some story arc. Maybe the Death Star mark and it's all negative one, which I'm pretty sure there wasn't that much time in between, or some sort of season 8. I don't know. Again, it could have been Thawne telling Barry about Chronarch, or Nora and Bart bringing it up. I think it was 100% something related to Barry, because Barry and Cisco were the only 2 people in that scene who learned about Chronarch. Remember, it was Abracadabra, Cisco, and Barry. Abra's dead, so he can't really say anything. Cisco isn't in the show anymore, and unless they got to see him in the final season, in the season finale, I mean. But why didn't they show that then? I mean, you can't tell me they deleted a scene with Cisco in it. In the finale season 8. Like, no, I'm sorry, no. That's stupid if they did. And I don't believe Eric Wallace is that dumb to do that. Unless there was way too much going on, but if they really chopped the Cisco scene just to put as a seal bringing the forces back, that is pathetic. And I don't think Eric Wallace is that stupid to not listen to the fans, even if he wants to admit that he doesn't. He does. At least to most of them. And he's not that stupid. You know who would do that? Todd Helbing. Anyways. It's one of those things where it's like, how are we going to wrap up that story arc? Where is it going? It's not going to be continued season 9. Again, I think a comic will be done to wrap that up in the future, probably years from now before that's even done. But if they want to wrap that up, people keep asking for it, it'll probably happen. This won't ever happen either, but let's say Batwoman magically gets renewed. It won't. I don't want it to. But let's say it does. It gets a 4th season somehow, some way. If they continue down the route of going to a new show for Batwoman, making everything different, if they want to keep it connected to the Arrowverse and Barry lives after the 9th season, bring in that certain lady in red that's most likely a lady version of Red Death, and there you go. Make it a version of Ryan Wilder from Another Earth that took Barry's speed like Red Death in the comics or Bruce Wayne did, became an evil version of Batman, destroyed all these Earths in his way, ended up on Earth Prime, and fights Barry and fights Batman on Earth Prime. That could easily be a thing that you can do, and it'd be a really cool thing to just get Grant back for like a few episodes while they're dealing with Red Death. It's like it's not on the Flash because it should be, but if they really want to do that, that's how you can do it. The Flash, I think it's in season 9. It's not going to come back after, I'd be surprised if they ever did. I'm sure if Grant, like 5 years down the line, is like, yeah, I miss it, I want to come back, we know there's always another way, they'll probably do a 10th season, and they could do a lot more in that, right? I mean, we've had, 3 years pass since Arrow Season 8? He even said himself a year ago that he would love to come back for a Season 9. Everything is still up in the air, right? I mean, we've had shows, just not CW in general, but any show can end like 10 years ago and come back now and still get a new vibe to it that still makes viewers love it. That is my point. The Flash can end now and it can always come back if they leave that door open, like Arrow did. With Oliver becoming the Spectre, we left the possibility of Oliver coming back as a Spectre, or as Oliver Queen in the past tense, right? Or the Green Arrow, I mean. We can always get that kind of story arc coming in for a full new season of Arrow, or just a story arc in the Flash. That is my point. For Flash, if they don't kill off Barry, give it like 10 years, probably be an Arrowverse reunion. There's Flash season 10, bring in all these people, right? I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. It's up to Grant, I think, to pretty much set that into motion, also Steven as well. But, again, Chronarch, I'm not disappointed that scene was deleted, because clearly it would have been set for season 9. Unless there's something completely, I'm assuming here, because we don't know. We'll find out the deleted scene, I think it's next week. The DVD comes out, which is when the gag reel in it, and or this is the 18th. I don't remember. It's either next week or the week after. The gag reel comes out for Flash season 8. And it's gonna be something. I think it's gonna be a good gag reel because Grant, just you could tell he had so much fun on the set. And I think it's gonna be a really good gag reel to watch for season 8. But also the lead scenes will be shown. We know one of them. I'm assuming that scene will be blasted all over the place. It'll be talked about on news outlets, like TV Line or Entertainment Weekly. I would not be surprised. So, again, it's just going to be one of those things where are we going with this whole thing? Is it going to be connected to Barry? Is it going to be connected to Thawne, Bart, Nora, maybe Iris somehow, some way? Is it going to be a past tense connection, like between season 7 and season 8? Barry stopped Chronarch. Which, why bring that up in 820? That makes zero sense. But I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But again, the number one thing here, it was deleted from 820. And the number one thing that should put into everyone's minds here is that is 100% connection to season 9. So I think it's cool for starters that the fact is that we know that this could very well be a scrapped season 9 villain. I would assume it is. We'll find out more when that deleted scene gets posted. Which I will talk about it more when the deleted scene is out. Jumping back into Just You, again, if it's not part of Earth Prime, a lot of people aren't going to care about it. That show is pretty much done and doner now. I mean, the amount of time we've had to wait for it, if it's not part of Earth Prime, it's not part of the Arrowverse, the other heroes, a lot of people won't care about it. I mean, let's be real here. No one really will. And it's just a matter of the fact is that if it's not something in Lois' world, the only people who probably watch that are David Ramsey fans, assuming Lois fans, assuming it's connected in some way. And that's it. Because people watch Superman and Lois because of Superman, right? I'm just not going to watch show because the quality dipped. And also the hours connect. But the quality in the show dipped. The writing dipped. It was just lazy as hell in the back half. Season 1 was kind of that way too if you look back at it. Season 3 is going to be even worse. Assuming they don't get their heads on straight. I don't know. If I hear it's good, I'll give it a shot. But I'm not going to do reviews on it. That's for sure. But look, I I really do hope Justice U, and I said this a lot over the past several months, and probably a year now, I think, but I hope Justice U is part of Earth Prime, part of the Arrowverse, and they can net that right away in the pilot. Like I said, it can be a very emotional pilot for Justice U. Assuming Barry does not get killed off, they can bring Barry into the pilot, right? Have him meeting up with Dig, telling him on a case that he's been working on. Just like Arrow was in the Flash's pilot, we bring the Flash into Justice U's pilot, the Arrow spinoff show. Wouldn't that be something to watch? I mean, that'd be so emotional and heartfelt for the hardcore Arrow Flash fans. I mean, that'd be so cool to see. And again, you have so many stories you can go with Diggle. I know they wrapped up the Green Box storyline, but that could again be very well be setting up Justice U on Earth Prime. Because we know Dig is Spartan in this show. He's not Green Lantern. So if they set up this show on Samuel Lois' world, we're stuck again with another Diggle that's never going to become Green Lantern. Which is blatantly stupid and should never ever really become a thing. But yeah, we're going to be finding out more and more as the days, weeks, months, probably even a year or two go on for Justice U. I mean, there's nothing else we can really talk about in this video. Again, I will not be uploading Wednesday night, Thursday night, or next Sunday night. I know Stargirl is on tomorrow night, Wednesday night. My review will not be up. My promo breakdown will not be up Thursday night. I'm not going to make up those videos either because I don't have time for it. And I'm not going to make time for it because I need my Arrow review up Monday, which is October 10th, 10-year Arrowversary. So it's going to be hella emotional for a lot of people, including myself, because 10 years, I mean, that's a long time. So my review should be up that day. Hopefully nothing bad really happens with it. But yeah. So thank you guys for watching the video. Have a good day. Have a good night. Stay safe. See you in the next video. Bye, guys.